The earth just cannot handle the sheer number of humans who live here.
Oh, thank you very much, Richard, and I am delighted to be here in these new headquarters.
Most of the people seemed to be listless beyond hope and astonishment.
We get a lot of advice from the council, so this will mean I won't have as far to go to be told what we should be doing and how we should think about the future.
We discovered that among this stench of disease and decay was something a bit worse than hunger. Moving vaguely on rickety skeleton legs, they were too ill to eat. How grateful they were for a kindly word or gesture.
Something has to give, and I believe that it's up to us who have lived a good life to make sure that our children will have the opportunity to live good lives too.
Huts were almost impossible to go near. They were full of tangled masses of people who had died slowly and painfully of starvation and disease, writhing in agony.
She got bit! She's bleeding! She's bleeding!
I brought up the subject of what's going to happen after we take over the government. We become responsible then for administrating, 250 million people. And there was no answers. No one had given any thought to economics. How are you going to clothe and feed these people? I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
Helpless in puddles of excrement. It was difficult to imagine those orchards now. Those rich fields where the stolid cattle cropped the juicy grass. For here, a few minutes away, inside the barbed wire, was nothing but filth and death.
Stop us. There's too many of us. We're ready. We're breeding by the day. You think we have kids because we like sex? No, we're having kids ready to start this war. Believe me. I got another one on the way, and she'll be strapped up ready for you. Come get it. Come get it. Come knock on my door and see what happens. We're ready. We're ready.
You heard me?
That's a weapon of choice, man.
You heard me? This is my favorite toy. I love this. This my real bitch. This who down with me. This who go ride for me. Believe that.
Yeah, nigga. Niggas come around here, nigga. That's all you need to know, cuz.
I say, Mitaku Yase.
The President has directed us to take action to fight these cartels, and Attorney General Holder and I are taking several new and aggressive steps as part of the administration's comprehensive plan. DOJ's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is increasing its efforts to fortify its Project Gunrunner, which is aimed at disrupting arms trafficking between the United States and Mexico.
Well, the ATF Gunrunner and Fast and Furious operations, which spanned both the Bush and the Obama administrations, are two of the most stunning government operations to have come unraveled in years. Tonight, new and stunning accusations about Fast and Furious and why one high-ranking drug cartel official says Americans have it all wrong. Ben has the reality check. You won't see
We
anywhere
told you
else.
before that Justice Department memos obtained by CBS prove that the feds plan to use the numbers from Fast and Furious to push for stricter gun laws in the U.S. The attempt was to claim that the majority of guns headed into Mexico and being used by drug cartels were coming from the United States. But that is simply not true. Well, today, TheBlaze.com began reporting excerpts from a soon-to-be-released book titled The Weed That Just Won't Die by Reed Williams. Williams looks into federal documents surrounding the case of Jesus Vicente Zambada Nebla, known as the Sinaloa cartel's logistics coordinator. Now, this guy was extradited to Chicago last year to face federal drug charges. Look, if you want to understand Mexico's drug war, then you have to understand how the Sinaloa cartel works. A man by the name of Joaquin Guzman, also known as Chapo Guzman, is the head of this cartel. In 2001, Guzman was being held in a Mexican prison. He actually escaped from that prison in a laundry truck. He went back and took control of the Sinaloa cartel. And when Guzman did, he began a war with all these other cartels across Mexico. The goal here, the attempt, was to create one super cartel by wiping out all of the competition. It has been long believed in Mexico that Joaquin Chapo Guzman got a lot of help. And that is the war that has been fought in Mexico heavily since 2006. So back to the Fast and Furious allegations here. The man making those claims, again, Zambada Nebla, is a close associate of Chapo Guzman and the Sinaloa cartel's logistics coordinator. Zambada Nebla claims that under a divide-and-conquer strategy, the U.S. helped finance and arm the Sinaloa cartel through Operation Fast and Furious in exchange for information that allowed the DEA, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and other federal agencies to take down rival drug cartels. The Sinaloa cartel was allegedly permitted to traffic massive amounts of drugs across the U.S. from 2004 to 2009, during both Fast and Furious and the Bush-era gun-running operations, as long as the intel kept coming. And there is more. Based on the alleged agreement, the Sinaloa cartel, under the leadership of the defendant's father, Ismael Zambada Nebla, and Chapo Guzman, were given carte blanche to continue smuggling tons of illicit drugs into Chicago and the rest of the United States. They were also protected by the United States government from arrest and prosecution in return for providing information against rival cartels, which helped Mexican and United States authorities capture or kill thousands of rival cartel members. States in motion filed for discovery in United States District Court by Zambada Nebla's.
On October the 7th, 1994, Sarah McClendon, the senior White House news correspondent who has covered 11 presidential administrations, beginning with that of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, demonstrated once again that she has the courage to ask the hardball questions other journalists only dare to think. As she confronted William Jefferson Clinton about the Central Intelligence Agency's involvement in nefarious activities set at a remote airport in western Arkansas while Clinton was Arkansas's commander-in-chief, she finally cornered the man who was a co-conspirator in bypassing the Constitution of the United States of America. In doing so, the president was not only forced to address the looming scandal that may impeach him, Clinton once again demonstrated his trademark talent. He lied.
Sir, the Republicans are trying to blame you for the existence of a small air base at Mena, Arkansas. This base was set up by George Bush and Oliver North and the CIA to help the Iran-Contras, and they brought in plane load after plane load of cocaine there for sale in the United States, and then they took the money and bought weapons and took them back to the Contras, all of which was illegal, as you know, under the Bolin Act. But tell me, did they tell you that this had to be in existence because of national security?
Well, let me answer the question
No, they didn't tell me anything about it. They didn't say anything to me about it. The airport in question and all the events in question were the subject of state and federal inquiries. It was primarily a matter for federal jurisdiction. The state really had next to nothing to do with it. The local prosecutor did conduct an investigation based on what was within the jurisdiction of state law. The rest of it was under jurisdiction of the United States attorneys who were appointed successively by previous administrations. We had nothing, zero, to do with it, and everybody who's ever looked into it knows that.
Polk County Prosecutor Charles Blake, the man who initially attempted to investigate the Mena, Arkansas criminal activities, would surely take exception to Mr. Clinton's assertion that, quote, the local prosecutor did conduct an investigation based on what was within the jurisdiction of the state law, end quote. In fact, it was Blake who went directly to then Governor Clinton to seek funding for his investigation, seeing as how rural Polk County lacked the financial resources to deal with the CIA.
When it became apparent that nothing was going to be done on the federal level, that's when I began more actively pursuing it.
Prosecutor Black, a Clinton supporter, met with the governor and handed him a letter requesting money for a state grand jury on Mena.
His response to me was that he would get a man, something to the effect that he would get a man on it and would get word back to me. And I never heard back.
Years later, Clinton said he offered $25,000 to Prosecutor Black's boss to fund a grand jury. But Charles Black and his boss claim they never heard about any offer of money from Governor Clinton.
I believe Bill Clinton's an honest, respectable man, and I have to believe that he did that. But the fact is, I never got that word myself.
Blake wasn't the only man affected by uncooperative superiors who, for some strange reason, seemed willing to turn a blind eye to blatant disregard for America's laws. William Duncan, a senior IRS Criminal Intelligence Division investigator, was running headlong into invisible walls that were protecting what appeared to be an open wound in the Department of Justice.
How far will the United States government go to protect an operation? Will they kill a case? I think history has shown that that can happen. Did it happen? In my opinion, yes.
Duncan, through the Arkansas Attorney General's office, desperately sought funding to continue his investigation into the dark corners of the CIA's activities in Arkansas. But just as Prosecutor Blake had earlier experienced, Bill Clinton wouldn't help. The purse strings funding justice were drawn tight. So Clinton's response to Sarah McClendon about, quote, the state really had next to nothing to do with it, end quote, was another lie. The state, under Clinton's control, helped seal the fate of the Mena scandal by not funding a proper investigation. Even more shocking, when law enforcement failed to shield the citizens of Arkansas from the federal government's reckless disregard for the sovereignty of the state and its laws, a citizens group known as the Arkansas Committee gathered thousands of signatures and went directly to Clinton, demanding he lead the investigation. The results of the civilian effort? Continued lies, deceit, and cover-up. What forces could be responsible for compromising the entire system of justice? Bill Clinton certainly knows. He was the governor of Arkansas who allowed the subversion of his state government by the shadowy forces radiating from the Reagan-Bush White House when ex-CIA Director William Casey began using the CIA to illegally conduct secret foreign policy. This serious breach of America's constitutional authority was labeled by the media as Iran-Contra. This documentary will rewrite this dark period in American history and leave you with a gnawing question. Who or what is running this country? Gun running. Mysterious CIA flights. Contra military training. Guerrilla pilot training. Clandestine airdrops. Tons of illegal drugs. Millions of dollars in dirty money. Covert activity in some third world banana republic, right? Wrong. Arkansas, America's own banana republic.
The cost of living an exciting life is high. You can't sit in Baton Rouge and go to work from 9 to 5 on Monday through Friday and go to the LSU football games on Saturday night and church on Sunday morning and have an exciting life. That may be exciting to 99% of the population, but to me it's not. And the exciting thing in life to me is to get into a life-threatening situation. Now that's excitement.
That was the voice of the late Adler Berryman Seal, pilot extraordinaire, soldier of fortune, drug smuggler, undercover agent for the FBI, DEA, U.S. Customs, and the Central Intelligence Agency. Barry Seal, who was ruthlessly assassinated in Baton Rouge, Louisiana in February 1986, plays a pivotal role. Along with his C-123K military transport plane he affectionately named the Fat Lady, in chronicling the true history of Iran-Contra. This story is about unmasking the deception that was perpetuated upon the American people at a time in the mid-1980s when a small backward state, Arkansas, became the epicenter of a CIA-like operation designed to do an end run around congressional law. A black operation being backdoored out of the Reagan-Bush White House and set in place in rural western Arkansas under the watchful eyes of then Governor William Jefferson Clinton.
In fact, Interstate 40 has become a major profit center for Tennessee law enforcement, with officers stopping and often searching out-of-state vehicles. Is it okay that they...
It's okay.
It's because of a state law that lets them seize money like the cash shown in these police photos, simply based on the suspicion that it's linked to drug trafficking. If an owner does not take legal action to get the money back, the agency gets to keep it all.
I mean, this is really highway shakedowns coming to the U.S.
The reason why I stopped you was you're coming outside your lane of travel. I don't know if you're getting sleepy or you're not drinking, or you know.
So what was the reason for the stop?
I think he said he crossed the line, weaved over.
Yet our camera had been tracking that same supervisor and captured the exact moment that he put on his brakes just as he was about to pass the Texas vehicle. As you can see, it's squarely between the lines. For almost 2 minutes, the interdiction vehicle trails the SUV. And while the officer himself is all over the road...
That car wasn't weaving.
The tape, it was not weaving. It did not cross the line. You're right.
He never weaved once, did he?
No, he stayed within his lane of traffic.
Hey, driver, how you doing today? Get your license, please.
And we obtained other videos from that same 23rd Drug Task Force supervisor where he stops out-of-state drivers and never even tells them that they violated any traffic laws. Last year, the Institute for Justice issued this report, Policing for Profit, that gave Tennessee a D- for civil forfeiture laws that make it all possible.
Under civil forfeiture, you give law enforcement a direct and perverse incentive to go out and try to take as much property from citizens as possible.
That for the first time in all of human history, mankind is politically awakened. That's a total new reality. Total new reality. It has not been so for most of human history until the last 100 years. And in the course of the last 100 years, the whole world has become politically awakened. And no matter where you go, politics is a matter of social engagement. And most people know what is generally going on in the world, and are consciously aware of global iniquities, inequalities, lack of respect, exploitation. Mankind is now politically awakened and stirring.
You guys go ahead and keep walking for me. At this point, you're disrupting our... So welcome, because it's confusing down the street. You're welcome to go down here, but I don't want you at this point. It's confusing for people. So you can go right on the other side of the driveway.
That it was confusing?
I'm making that determination.
What's your name, officer? That it's already confusing for the drivers?
Yeah, I'm just going to ask you to go right on the other side of the driveway, not stand in the driveway here.
What's your badge number?
Go on right down to the other side of the driveway. Okay?
What's your badge number?
Just right on the other side of the driveway.
We have a right to know your badge number.
You can see my badge number. Keep going.
Just say it.
Keep going. Keep going.
You're obstructing. So are you refusing to identify yourself?
So you're refusing to identify.
On duty.
Sergeant Hurd, badge number 1000. I want you
Okay,
out of the
thank
way.
you. There you go.
There you go. You're all set.
Is this okay? Can we stand right here?
It is Nazi Germany over here, I guess. It's not a Sergeant Hurd.
A public street. You can't stand there, but they can do a random checkpoint.
Nazi Germany's coming to town here now.
We got victims driving by. One by one, illegal searches. Show me your papers. That's America today.
DHS, Department of Homeland Security, consists of the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, and Immigration Services. This is a domestic law enforcement agency. And to be fair, some people online who don't want to believe what's going on have said that this is just going to be used for target practice, or also it could be that the government is simply stockpiling ammunition because they don't want to get into a situation where there's an ammo shortage and our law enforcement officers don't have any ammunition. And those are both fair points, but that kind of ammo that they purchased from ATK, hollow point ammunition, as you had explained, it's designed to, tear through human flesh and then expand. It's designed to kill people. This is not the optimal kind of ammo you would buy for target practice. It's more expensive and it's more precise. But even if they're burning through 20 million rounds a month, to train their agents, this is still overkill. This is still too much. So best case scenario, this is sort of a waste of taxpayers' money. And worst case scenario is, as you said, they're planning for economic unrest or violent protests or something that requires hollow point ammunition on a wide scale. And they have an open bid right now, DHS, for even more ammunition for 175 million rounds of .223 caliber rifle ammo. We're rapidly militarizing our domestic law enforcement officers, and I think a lot of people are scared. TSA is scary enough. Wait until they all have guns.
Well, I mean,
you can't speak back when they're groping you at the airport.
Since 2001, the federal government has spent $34 billion on militarizing our local police enforcement.
However, several police stations across the country have splurged on some pretty fancy equipment. The Bearcat 3. This is a 9-ton armored vehicle with bullet-resistant windows, gun ports, tear gas dispenser, loudspeaker, and a battering ram on the front bumper. Several departments, including the NYPD, are also using mobile watchtowers, giving cops an eye in the sky. Well, they took it one step further and used a DHS grant to get their own weaponized drone. That's right, this $300,000 Shadowhawk drone made by Vanguard Defense Industries weighs 50 pounds and can be equipped with a beanbag launcher and a taser, giving officers the ability to stalk a target from the sky. Does the name Shadowhawk sound familiar? That's because they're the same brand that's used by the military in Afghanistan for counterterrorism operations. So why do cops need a tank or a drone? Well, they don't. But if they can get one, then they figure why not. Call me crazy, but these devices need to be left to the military for war situations, not to use against Americans for domestic purposes.
I worked here for 11 years and educated myself.
What do they think of us?
Well,
Expendable fodder units is what they're
the truth is, when you're quiet and you listen, you learn. And around these people, the quieter you are, the more you learn. And when you're a semi-intelligent person with integrity, you know when you're being taken, but you're quiet, you listen, you keep your enemies close.
That's right.
Man, I got to tell you, though, that the sheriff department's going to know me, okay? Okay, so I knew about the cloning of sheep before it happened, years. I knew about HIV and mosquitoes years before they knew about.
Why, they tell
because
you?
the old men, they get freaked out and they have these big conferences with the head, health people of the world. I was friends with the paramedics. But I'm really happy this day has come. I've been wanting it for a really long time. I could tell you that they refer to everybody outside the club as little men. Every single man is a little man unless you're in this club. They are the brainstorm of everything that happens. They are the movers, the shakers.
Talk in front of them.
They are.
They need to hear the cops.
When you say it's not a conspiracy, it is. It's really creepy. There's no one free here. We're all slaves.
These kids, what are they doing there right now?
Well, I mean, I saw Nixon before he died. I've seen them all. They all have to come down to the food court. That's where women are allowed to serve. Except at Northwood, we're allowed to serve if you want. You know.
Women.
Yeah, yeah. Men too. There's men. There's prostitutes here, and there's boys, hot boys. But the main thing is, above all the sex and all that, it's the main objective of controlling the world, and it all happens here. And the police. Oh God, someone know me.
You can do
I'm
it.
waiting for this.
They all.
The world's watching.
They're all bought out.
Okay, fuck, dude. Okay. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's up on your back? Put your hands behind your back. Here's your voice. Put your hands behind your back. Okay, dude. Okay. Okay. Put your hands behind your back. Okay. Put your hands on your back.
Beyond it, Dan, good morning again. I'm here with Eric Hunter. We met here last night, and he has an incredible story. You were actually in the adjacent theater watching Batman as well, and when the gunfire broke out, you said it started coming right through the walls.
Yeah, the bullet came right through the walls. It was first 3 shots, and then after that it was another 8 or 9 shots. By that time I'm walking down the stairs, see blood on the stairs, and I turn to the crowd and tell them that there's something wrong. We need to get out of here. We need to call the cops.
But for a split second it was happening, you told me, at a point in the movie when there was gunfire, so you couldn't tell the difference between the movie and the real thing.
Definitely. When the first 3 shots rang out, we didn't know if it was part of a movie or not. The smoke was rolling in through the theater, so we didn't know exactly what was going on, so we sat down after that.
And when you opened up one of the doors...
All right, so we see an obvious collaboration between the mainstream media, at least CNN, with this cover-up. We have an older picture, which even shows the individual writing down aspects of the evidence in the picture, and you have a newer picture that CNN's presenting. And most interesting, of course, is the presence of the knife, which I'm referring to as the older picture, and then the newer picture is the one without it. The first thing that you might notice is that you might say the gas mask has changed position. Obviously, you would not want to change or absolutely change anything in a crime scene, but we already know that a lot of the items were displaced even after the markers were set down.
Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old. They had their entire lives ahead of them. Birthdays, graduations, weddings, kids of their own.
Robbie Parker. I assume he's going to come out to the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen in. Okay. My name's Robbie Parker.
And action.
Sir, can I talk to you a second here? We're Channel 2 in New York. How did you find out about this terrible tragedy?
Okay. My daughter's in 3rd grade. We got an automated call from the town that there had been a shooting.
Sure.
But nothing about where the shooting was and that the schools were on lockdown.
So you're assuming probably it's the high school at first, right? And then
of course, and my son's at the high school. I text him.
Yeah.
He said everything's fine here. And then I got another text from CBS that
This is CBS.
So you talked to the person who called 911?
Yes, and she said that there was hundreds of shots, it sounded like.
Hundreds of shots?
That's what she said.
The teachers, we heard like lots of bangs, and we thought that it was the custodian knocking stuff down.
And to hear her describe it, she said that there must have been 100 rounds. And I asked her to clarify that. I said, really, truly 100 rounds? And she said at least.
So you heard sounds?
Yes.
What did it sound like to you?
It sounded like someone was kicking a door.
Hundreds of shots?
That's what she said.
Hundreds of shots?
That's what she said.
We thought that it was the custodian knocking stuff down.
Hundreds of shots?
Sounded like someone was kicking a door.
Hundreds of shots?
Did you hear any gunshots or anything like that?
Well, police officers, like, they were there kinda, because there's police officers, like, right out the door, like, trying to find the guy.
she locked the door.
She locked the door? And were you afraid? Yeah. But how long before you saw your parents? Did they tell you your parents were going to come get you?
No, I think.
Okay, well, this is a little unsettling, I guess, for a youngster. She's been on TV. She's been on TV, and
This is CBS.
Right, the assault rifle was in the trunk of his car. Later, to fit the official story and the coroner's report, it was then changed, and it was said that the assault rifle was found next to his body, and that 3 other guns, we don't know who those guns were registered to, were also found, and it was not disclosed as to where they were found. So as we see the man in the woods arrested by police and 2 other men fleeing in a van detained by police, why in God's name aren't there any cops in Connecticut coming forward to talk about what happened to those 3 men?
Well, you know, it's funny you mention that, because I heard reports that there were over 1,200 police officers that responded to the scene, and I don't even know how that's responsible for local and state law enforcement to saturate an area like that. The way that they're responding to these situations is ridiculous. I'm not an expert on active shooter, although I do have a lot of experience in active shooter. I think one of the glaring inconsistencies that you talk about is the fact that you then have the state medical examiner going on to say that these poor victims were shot multiple times with a rifle. So how is it that they were shot multiple times with a rifle that was in the assailant's vehicle. Things don't add up. But the thing that you mentioned sheeple, and the one thing that really bothers me, Sean, is the fact that the people in this country, the sheeple in this country, are so far gone that they actually believe that somebody like President Obama can legislate these things from not happening anymore. That's an absolute joke, because murder is already against the law, okay? And you can't pass laws that would guarantee you from not having people committed to doing random acts of violence. That's not possible, no matter whether you take away people's guns or whatever you try and legislate. I think that's grossly negligent of him to lure people into a false sense of security.
No, you're absolutely right, Mark. I mean, we know by looking at Chicago, where there's a gun ban, and New York City, correct me if I'm wrong, where there's a gun ban, that oftentimes where there are gun bans, those are the areas of highest crime, because those are the areas where only the criminals have guns. Now, what the American sheeple seem unable to understand, those that are posting on Facebook that you should defriend me if you don't believe we should ban guns. My wife was seeing some of those this weekend. These people do not understand our Bill of Rights. They do not understand. They can't even tell you what the First Amendment is. They cannot tell you what the Second Amendment is, nor can they tell you why the founders gave us the Second Amendment and made it the Second Amendment. It is the last line of defense standing between a free people and a tyrannical government. And the fear...
And it has
Бог тебя простит, и меня простит.
Одежду сюда. Давай, пошевеливайся.
Паренек, ну что, помочь?
К дверям. Прости, прости. Пошли. Лицом к дверям. Лицом к дверям.
Морячок, дай докурить.
Dead prisoners hurled out and stacked in twisted heaps.
Hi, I'm Danger Man, the urban superhero, and this is another Danger Man moment. Today, I'm announcing that I am supporting President Barack Obama in his re-election for president in November 2012.
We do believe you can use government in a good way. Well, government's the only thing that we all belong to. Well, government's the only thing that we all belong to.
One of the themes put forth tonight at the convention was that we all belong to the government. How does it feel to belong to the government?
It feels like one big happy family to belong to the government, because if we feel that way, we're more safer. We should feel the government should be able to help us and to be able to take care of us.
He's trying to change the U.S.
Absolutely. And what do you like that he's done so far?
I mean, he done got the Medicaid and all that, the medical thing going. You know what I'm saying? He got most of the jobs like he said he would. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and he really improving, but he needs to improve more, so he needs to stay on up in so he can do more, you know what I'm saying, things like he said he would.
President Obama has done a lot to help people get back to work. You know, the situation he came into when he took over the White House, you know what shape our country was in. All right, he's done a lot for getting our the auto workers, getting Detroit back online, Target, health care, and so we need to get our president, Barack Obama, back into office.
We are all part of our community, a national community, as Americans.
Yeah. Do you hope he will eventually find and kill bin Laden?
He'll eventually do it, though.
You think he'll eventually find him and kill him if he wins this election? Every person they interviewed, about 10 people.
They didn't know that bin Laden was dead?
I'm telling you, I can play every one of these interviews. They don't know bin Laden's dead over wherever the hell Sal and Richard were.
I don't think this guy knows what day it is.
Yeah, I know. But this woman, I would have thought, this woman sounded very with it. Listen to this. Do you know who you're going to vote for in this election?
Obama. I just don't like Romney.
What is it about Mitt Romney that you don't like? Is it that he's pro-choice, or?
Yes, and it's just his general, it's him in general. I just don't like him.
Because he's a Muslim?
It has nothing to do with religion or what his views are. I just don't like him.
Do you think Obama made the right choice by choosing Paul Ryan as his vice president?
Yes.
Do you think he picked Paul Ryan because he's African American or because he's qualified?
It could be a little bit of both.
And do you think McCain has a shot this time out to beat Obama for this election?
No. I just don't see McCain as like presidential material. I don't see it.
What percentage of the vote do you think McCain will get over Obama this time?
About 20, I guess.
All right. These Republicans, Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, they don't care anything about middle-class America and the people who struggle every day to pay their bills, to pay their health care, to take care of their kids and their families, okay? So I'm telling you, President Barack Obama is the best president that this country has ever had.
There's going to be a lot of tough decisions Barack's going to have to make. A lot of very tough decisions, including on foreign policy. And here's the point I want to make. Mark my words. Mark my words. It will not be 6 months before the world tests Barack Obama like they did John Kennedy. The world is looking. We're about to elect a brilliant 47-year-old President of the United States of America. Remember I said standing here, you don't remember anything else I said. Watch, we're going to have an international crisis, generated crisis, to test the mettle of this guy.
The problems will always be there, and there's going to be a crisis come along on the 21st or 22nd of January that we don't even know about right now.
Feels great. I support that.
It feels sincere.
If Obama wins this time, are you hoping that we finally catch and kill Osama bin Laden?
Honestly, I don't agree with the whole war thing, but if we,
Do you think he should just go to jail then, bin Laden?
Yeah, he can be tortured, but, I don't believe in killing.
How long of a jail term do you think bin Laden should get when we find him?
It should be indefinite.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
By the way, I'm pretty sure you can find a bunch of white people who don't know what's going on either.
The only thing we all belong to is the government. How does that make you feel?
We all do belong to the government as U.S. citizens.
Hi, this is Danger Man, the Urban Superhero, and this is another Danger Man moment. This is a sad note. In San Diego yesterday, a 36-year-old San Diego police officer who was a 4-year veteran, Jeremy Henwood, I believe his name is, was shot unprovoked, was in his police vehicle in an intersection.
We all belong to the government. How does that make you feel?
That makes you feel united.
Are you here for the festivities tonight? Yeah. Oh, okay. So could I ask you a question, if you don't mind? All right. What brought you here today? What brought you here for the festivities today?
Andrew, and Mr. Biden.
So you're one of the guys who came to see the vice president today?
Yes.
And you support that fully?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me ask you this: are you familiar with the National Defense Authorization Act?
No.
Well, what it is it's a bill that was passed on New Year's Eve by President Obama, which now gives him the power to unilaterally, indefinitely detain and assassinate American citizens without trial by jury, without habeas corpus. I mean, it's a pretty, serious, draconian legislation that was passed. How do you feel about that now that I told you about that?
If President Obama went along with it and then approved it, I approve it also.
And this officer didn't even know that this was the suspect they were looking for. He just pulled right up, shot him.
We don't all necessarily belong to the same religion, but we all belong to the government.
I absolutely believe that.
Yeah, that we all belong to the government.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like, are you excited about that?
Yeah.
So, okay, and well, he did approve of it. He signed it into law, and what it does is, like I said, it now allows him to make the call. That means, me or you can disappear in the middle of the night. They could seize our assets, they could detain us, and we will not have a trial by a jury of our peers, and we might not ever be seen from again under the guise of terrorism. So you're saying you support that?
I support it completely.
You support it completely? So indefinite detention for Americans and assassination of Americans, absolutely, because Obama said it.
Absolutely.
What are we doing? Shooting police officers every time. This is the first thing when we need help. Who do we call? We call the police. We can't let people, criminals, shoot the police. We can't. That's anarchy.
Yeah, there you go. Trash is private property. This is private property. I know. And they do it a flag, y'all assholes.
You're a coward! Rip the American flag! You're a coward!
Who knows? I haven't never had other feelings, so I can't tell you how it feels not to belong to the government.
Hey, sir, you really piqued my interest. Would you mind if I ask you one or two more other questions?
Go ahead.
Okay. You told me that you would support anything that Obama does blindly, right?
Yes.
Now, can you explain to me why that is?
Because there has to be reasons why he approved it, and if he approved it, I'm sure that he doesn't approve things that are as bad as you say they are.
Now, if
you can't shoot the police, you know, it's crazy shooting the police. You know, I mean, this was this officer was just sitting in his police car. He had, you know, in the line of duty, and the man shot him. Okay. Now I want to know where the gun came from. I want, you know, again, to me, it's getting back to we have too many guns out here, and in the wrong hands.
What does that statement like invoke in you, or does it make you feel excited, or?
It makes me feel united as an American.
Now, if it is as bad as I say it is, okay, and you've seen.
Sure, it's not, because they've done. I'm absolutely sure they've done enough research on it and enough looking into it to know that it's a good thing.
It's a good thing? Okay.
You trust that? Absolutely.
Do you know that we have already killed an American citizen and a 16-year-old son?
Doesn't matter.
So how do you feel about the community message that we all belong to the government?
Well, I believe that, but unfortunately the Republicans don't.
Well, why doesn't that matter?
It doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't matter to you? But, I mean, it might affect, you know, I mean, what's to stop them from saying, hey, you know, picking out whoever they want and doing it to us?
All right. And they're taking lives, innocent lives. Innocent lives. Dreams cut short, families ruined.
I think regardless of where you grow up and regardless of where you live, you're going to be owned by someone at some point. So I think the American government so far has been a fair government, and I don't necessarily hate that I'm owned by them at this point.
Let's work on getting these guns out of our community, knowing who has them. You know, if you look on a pack of cigarettes, it says the Surgeon General has on there that there's a warning, as the Surgeon General has declared this a hazardous to your health. Why can't we put a warning on every gun that this is a hazard to your health, and limit their sale and the distribution of guns?
So basically, if trains rolled up and they said on the train and we're gonna put you into a FEMA camp, and you know that's the end of us, you would be for that because the president said so?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this: is it because of Obama, or is it because he's a Democrat, or just because you trust the government that much?
All three.
No, the NRA was going to come down and scream. They're so powerful. They'll come down, and I had some NRA people checking me out. Yeah, NRA trying to put I think they were putting a hit on me. I'm like, yeah, we know where you are, Danger Man. We know where you are. We know how to get you. The NRA. Wow.
Are you happy with Obama's vice president pick, Paul Ryan?
Yeah, because you know, Paul Ryan have a lot of issues because anything the media show to him in the TV is not right.
Do you like Obama because he's pro-life? Is that one of the reasons why you would vote for Obama?
Yeah, I like Obama. You know, a lot of issues for the human rights side. And,
like pro-life?
Pro-life, international, you know, democracy, you know.
Do you like that he's anti-gay marriage?
Oh, yeah, you know, that's a human being.
So you like that Obama's against that?
Yeah, I like Obama, you know, the way he do about the politics. I like that.
Do you support Mitt Romney because he's black?
No, doesn't matter to me. It's the issue to tell people what you're running for, explain to people your issue. Policy is the issue.
Now, are you upset that Romney is for gay marriage? Does that bother you?
Yeah, that bothers me for the human.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He don't know what's going on.
See, and every day, I'm telling you, especially the illegal guns. There's illegal guns out there that people are purchasing, or guns that are stolen and people aren't reporting them.
All three. So you trust the government and you would let them kill you because they know what's best. Say that one more time?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I don't even know what else to say at this point.
There's nothing you can't say.
There's nothing I can say? You are right about that. Have a great day. Oh my God.
And get this, so we can continue to see this country get on track, stay on track, and get people back to work, get health care, Medicaid, all right, and keep, keep abortion, and just keep our country safe. You know, if you look at some of the things that these Republicans are doing, this Todd Atkins, I mean, this is, this is just really crazy. But, President Barack Obama is the man to get the job done, and let's get together, folks. This is Danger Man, the Urban Superhero. This has been another Danger Man moment. I support President Barack Obama, and I need you to come and join me, and let's get this important work done in Washington, all right? Thank you very much. This is Danger Man, the Urban Superhero, and this has been another Danger Man moment. All right, you guys take care.
No weapons of mass destruction were found.
Are you kidding me? Do you buy that?
Yes.
Of course there were mass. Of course there were.
David,
there were.
Don't it feel great to belong to the government?
I'm going to introduce you to the bullcrap family. Mama bullcrap, daddy bullcrap, child 1, 2, and 3 bullcrap. Mama bullcrap and daddy bullcrap want you to believe that this little baby bullcrap died. And so does the news. Didn't happen. At the memorial service for the little baby bullcrap, mommy bullcrap and daddy bullcrap and President bullcrap and their little mother-in-law or sister-in-law bullcrap, and the little demon youngest, baby bullcrap, is doing her little symbol to the devil. Then you'll notice that the surviving daughter is all of a sudden wearing the dead bullcrap's daughter's dress. All of a sudden. She's the dead one, supposedly. And this one now is wearing the dress. Alright? You don't see anything wrong with this. You don't see that they're scamming you yet. There's not much I can do to help you. So anyways, welcome the bullcrap family. Don't let them into your house.
The earth just cannot handle the sheer number of humans who live here. Something has to give. And I believe that it's up to us who have lived a good life to make sure that our children will have the opportunity to live good lives too. I have lived a good life.
Dad's like, oh, now I'm open here.
Get it out for me so I can get
Yes, it is a Christmas tree.
Get it out!
Jackson. Mossberg. Rip it, say, rip it.
You gotta get down, baby. I have lived a good life.
Man's rifle is why he's in the field.
I have lived a good life.
You lose your rifle, you are a useless soldier. You are now a hindrance, not a helpful asset.
I have lived a good life.
I have lived a good life.
The M14 rifle, 7.62 millimeter, is a lightweight shoulder weapon, automatic fire. In semi-automatic fire, each squeeze of the trigger fires 1 round.
I have lived a good life.
Let me tell you something, American. If you don't stand up damn quick, if you don't make like a black and say, enough, we're going to stand up against you. We're done as Americans.
I have lived a good life.
God said, well, they were just mad because we had big guns and they had. You are the most un-American motherfucker. You deserve to get your gun taken. You deserve to get handcuffed for even letting it go that far. They used Katrina as a testing ground for gun confiscation.
I have lived a good life.
Hey YouTube, July 4 Patriot here with Finney and Boyle, Red Nexus. We're just going over some weapons drills, weapons malfunction drills, target acquisition, and magazine changing. Security!
I have lived a good life.
It's time Americans started taking care of themselves and got together and started working together. But by God, if we're going to survive, we must start acting.
These polls are officially closed. Everybody out.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm ordering you and everybody else to leave these premises. The polls are closed.
Like hell they are. These people came here to vote.
Yep. What? All right. Jack just got shot. Over to the post office. McMillan's got some kind of army over there. They closed the polls. Hey, Billy. You got the keys to the armory? Let's go. Hold on.
I don't want to shoot you, George, but I swear I will. Now, we're taking what we came for and we're getting out of here.
It's gonna be all right.
Come on!
Tell Cantrelli's gone too far this time, McMillan.
Hell, George, it's all your fault. You should have kept your mouth shut and minded your own business.
What the hell we do now, George?
Cover the window. What do you say? It's going to mobilize the National Guard. We just have to sit tight and wait. In the meantime, let's do what we came here to do. Open it up!
Tom, this is George Meade. We want 2 of your deputies to come down, unarmed with the ballot boxes. Set them right down here in the middle of the street. We'll take them, do an official count, then we can all go home. Now, if I don't see that ballot box come through that door in 1 minute, we're gonna open fire. You got 60 seconds. 20.
You're out of your mind, George. We're the law here, not you. The National Guard's on its way, and they're gonna...
Бог тебя простит, и меня простит.
The police work for the people. They are figures of authority, but the people are the authority. The police are authority figures, but the people are the authority. We must never forget that.